10 o'clock, we will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for September 1st, 2021 to order. If you would rise and join the invocation and pledge. God of justice and righteousness, your call beckons to us to live faithful lives, to turn from wickedness, to walk in your ways. Yet it is so easy to turn aside, to speak a thoughtless word, to ignore those in need, to strike out in anger, to forget your ways. Forgive us, implant your word in our hearts, and cleanse us from all evil. By the power of your love, save our souls, that we might faithfully serve you. Amen.
Susan, could we have a moment of silence for the soldiers that we lost
Sure.
getting the Afghanistans and the Americans out? Please,
Sure.
thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Also, I would like to announce that Friday night out on the courthouse plaza, there will be a prayer vigil for those soldiers that lost their lives. If anybody wants to attend, I think it's around 6 or 6:30. Thank you.
Jim, do you want to lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And at 10 o'clock, we have a proclamation. Don't sit down, guys. Proclamation to present. I was trying to catch you before you got down.
Think about today. First met high school. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you hang on to that. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow.
I know, I gotta make it through it with the mask on, so bear with
There
me.
you go. I took mine off.
I want you, but I'm afraid. I was gonna stand back there.
It's all right.
Whereas Jim Harris retired on May 14th, 2021 after 45 years of public service as a first responder, county administrator, and champion of the medically underserved. And whereas Jim Harris, a lifelong resident of Harrison County and graduate of Bridgeport High School, class of 1974, became interested in learning how, I'm not going to touch that one, how to help people after taking an advanced first aid and CPR training course in high school, and then joined the Anmore Volunteer Fire Department, where he served as a firefighter, EMT, and mobile intensive care paramedic. Breathe. And whereas Jim Harris was hired as one of the early emergency dispatchers within the Bureau of Fire and Rescue in 1977, and would rise in rank to become lieutenant within 18 months of his employment, and then later adhere the rank of captain and ultimately that of assistant bureau chief, where he would be tasked by Harrison County Commission with designing, planning, and implementing the Harrison-Taylor Enhanced 911 project. And whereas Jim Harris was appointed as the county's first Enhanced 911 director and oversaw the state of West Virginia's first multi-county E911 system, which provided essential emergency telecommunication to 71,000 residents, and worked to establish the West Virginia Enhanced 911 Council, and served as its first president in 1990 and 91. And we're not done. Whereas Jim Harris, did you do all of it? No, I was joking. I know you did.
I didn't write it.
And whereas Jim served the Harrison County Commission for 27 years, first as Deputy Director of Harrison County Emergency Services, and later as the first county administrator, where he not only served the commission, but the citizens of Harrison County, helping to match county resources with the needs of its people. And whereas Jim Harris has spent the past 12 years championing the cause of the medically underserved in the community by serving in the executive director of Health Access, Inc., a free and charitable clinic located in downtown Clarksburg. Jim has worked tirelessly to ensure that our county's uninsured and underinsured have access to primary medical care, prescription medications, and specialty care by leading the clinic through 2 building projects to build capacity and expanding access from 850 patients when he began to nearly 4,500 patients the clinic serves today. And whereas Jim Harris continues to seek the good of his community by serving on the boards of, are you ready? WVU Medicine, United Hospital Center, Highland Hospital, Mountains of Hope Cancer Coalition, Veterans Community Engagement Board, and as a member of the Clarksburg Kiwanis and Lions Clubs, Goodwill and Harrison County Chamber Ambassador. And whereas Jim Harris and his wife Mary Romine Harris have 1 child, Aaron Harris, and are devoted members of the Bridgeport Methodist Church, where Jim is actively involved in the church music program and serves as a worship leader and a musician at its Johnson Avenue complex. Now be it therefore resolved, the Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim September 1st, 2021, Jim Harris Day.
I thought I was tired before. I really am tired. I was just amazed when I heard this was going to happen. It was a total surprise to me. Sunday a week ago in church, our pastor, where we have words on the wall, he put up this flyer, and it was my face. And I saw that this was going to happen, and I was truly humbled and amazed by that. I look over here on this wall at all of those commissioners that I've worked for, at least the whole bottom row and part of the next row up. And really, I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had in my life, Susan. I've been so blessed. I've been so incredibly blessed. The people who really fed into me and mentored me, people like Tom Keeley, who sat on this commission for many years, a long time ago. He was here 21 years. He was really my hero, my champion. He was a visionary leader, and we need leadership in this world today. So I'm grateful for that. Josh Brown is back there with his camera. He's the new executive director at Health Access, and he has done a magnificent job, and he's pulled a lot of this together today, the reception we're going to have at Robinson Grand. So I'm grateful for that too. And it's been a great life and a great ride. I've just been incredibly blessed. So I thank the commission, all of you today for this. It's a great honor, and I appreciate it. Thank you. David? Buddy? Class of 74. Go Indians, right?
I just want to say that this guy here is a true hero for Harrison County.
Appreciate that.
He really is. I mean, he and I went to high school together, and I am just so proud to be able to claim Jim as my friend and have known him all these years. And what he's done for Harrison County, we can't thank you
I
enough.
appreciate it, buddy. I do.
I appreciate it.
It's been my joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like a picture with your bride up here?
Come up here, Miss Mary.
Your bride.
My talk about a champion and a hero. My wife taught school for 34 years. She should get a badge of honor. And now we're both retired, and she's busy telling me what needs done, and I'm doing the best I can to keep after it, right? Let me put this down here. Yeah. All right.
3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And Laura Pease and Willie Parker, I've worked with them. As county administrators here, you know the funding for Health Access, a big part of it comes from the Vital Services levy. Please vote for the levy this fall to keep that funding going. But so I've had a relationship with the commission all of my professional life, and it's always been a good relationship, and I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Public comment period. Is there someone signed up to speak publicly?
Rocky Romano.
Good morning, everybody. We just wanted to say,
didn't reach Robert this morning, I don't know if he's on there or not, but we prepared a press release to put out off of our satellites that we did this year. Just wanted to let you know, Rocky Romano and the assessor, Harrison County, in conjunction with Sheriff Robert Buffini, would like to announce the completion of all 12 of the assessment and tax satellite locations. Instead of reading this all to you, just wanted to let you all know that they were very successful this year. We've had more people at each location than we have since we started in 2017. The sheriff last year had a huge collection and it topped it by over 100,000 this year. We want to thank all the coordinators that helped us in all the different areas that we were at. And more importantly, we would like to thank the people of the county who came out and took care of that. You know, they would come out there and they would thank us, but in turn we thank them because it didn't work if it didn't come out. And let's face it, our tax revenues don't work if our county taxpayers don't take care of things on time. So we would like to thank all of them, and hopefully this year we had 2 locations that went on to 8 o'clock at night and they went really well. So if we can let people know that we're doing that, so the people who can't get here from 8 to 5, here, we're out there for them. The other thing I'd like to remind everybody, if you know anybody that has farms and they haven't been here today, September 1st, and they don't get it in today, they don't get it. There's nothing we can do about it. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Ray. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none. Consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion move forward and adopt in the record, please.
Motion to move forward and adopt into record the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 3, payroll change notices. What's the pleasure? A, B, and C.
Madam President, motion to move forward and adopt a record. I brought up the report for security and absolutely move forward with the hire, but it has been drawn to my attention that, some guys are talking about not getting enough hours and some guys aren't getting any hours. I want to make sure that we hire because of a reason, not just because, we can't just hire to be hiring. I have no doubt that this is a wonderful hire and to move forward with it though, but I did bring up the report and there are people getting little or no hours.
Okay, the motion is to move forward with number 3, payroll change notices. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Minutes and/or amended minutes of previous meetings.
Motion forward and adopt in the record.
Motion to move forward and adopt into the record. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Requisitions, purchase orders, invoices, which are found on A, the vendor requisition list of payments. It's a pleasure.
Motion move forward and adopt in the record.
Motion to move forward and adopt into record. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, exoneration corrective tickets, joint property applications, and it appears that A is only exonerations on Exhibit A to the agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion to move forward and accept A into record.
Motion to move forward with A. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. I have 1015, And I believe Mr. Cooper is here. Is that, no, you're at 10:20. I'm sorry. I was trying to get you in there. but hang loose. Okay, number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued by Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District, Series 2015 A and B, Development District Number 3, White Oaks, and Number 2, and Series 2008A, Charles Point Number 2, Northland Bay Improvements. And there are 4, A, B, C, and D.
Motion to adopt all A, B, C, and D in one motion, please.
Okay. Motion has been made to adopt number 7, A through D. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 8, review, discuss, consider date for hearing Monica Sue Guzzi estate.
The recommended date for that would be October 6th at 10:15 a.m.
Motion to adopt into record as stated.
Motion to adopt into record and set the hearing date as stated, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consider, set hearing date for delinquent estates.
The recommended date for that would be November 10th, following a commission meeting.
Motion approved and as stated.
We'll have to set a time. Okay. Motion to move forward with the date, set a time. Any further discussion? Or any discussion? Okay, hearing
The
none.
day after commission meeting.
I thought it was the date of commission meeting.
Hopefully not too many people will show up.
Do we want to go ahead and schedule it for 11 o'clock?
I mean, we just have to work, you know, depending on what's on the agenda that day, if it can be done. Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Review, discuss, consider setting date for hearing for estate of Lorna Conley to remove personal representative. Wow.
The recommended date for that would be October 6th, 2021 at 10:45 a.m.
Motion to move forward as stated.
Motion to move forward as stated by the county administrator. Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Number 11, review, discuss, consider subdivision and land development ordinance. Thank you for spelling that out. Are we ready to move forward with this?
Yeah, motion to move forward and adopt into record, please.
Okay, motion to move forward and adopt into record. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Aye. Unopposed? No. Okay, number 12, review, discuss, consider zoning form, Midwest Convenience, Inc., Salem, West Virginia.
Laura?
Correct, it's just a zoning form, we filled out several, but this one is for Main Street in Salem, West Virginia. It's going to be a convenience store.
Motion to move forward and adopt into record as stated.
Motion to move forward and adopt into the record as stated. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider posting commission meetings on YouTube.
Motion to move,
Go ahead.
no, motion to move forward and allow the county administrator to adopt.
Motion to move forward and allow county administrator to adopt. Any discussion? Do you wanna?
I was just gonna remind you, it's 10:20 here.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Sure you know your position, please. Okay. 10:20. Now, Dan, you can come forward.
Thank you.
Mr. Cooper.
I'm just here this morning to ask the commission to appoint the sheriff to serve as the administrator of the estate of Sharon Sue Richards. Ms. Richards passed away March 16th of 2021 while there was a pending lawsuit in the Harrison County Circuit Court against her, and no one has stepped forward to serve as the administrator of that estate. And so the case may continue. The case is an insured loss, but we need someone on the pleadings to show up, and so we're asking you to appoint the sheriff to serve as the administrator of the estate.
Motion to move forward and do as stated by Mr. Cooper, please.
Motion to move forward with appointing the sheriff as stated by Mr. Cooper. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Will you prepare the order, Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Review, discuss, consider revised towing policy. What's the pleasure?
Mr. Zimmerman, it was given to you to review.
Yeah, Commissioners, I reviewed the policy. I believe it's consistent with the applicable regulations that were cited last week by the gentleman who's also here today. It's fair and equitable on its face. It's designed to ensure that we are equitably distributing towing services. It meets that objective. I don't have any problem with it. You just move forward. And I have spoken with the 911.
Thank you. So we have a motion on 14. No motion? Had this happen before. Guess it dies for lack of a motion? Okay. Number 15, review, discuss, consider Sun Valley PSD audited financial statements for fiscal years June 30 through, or 20 and 2019.
These are usually financial statements that are in the consent agenda, and we pull them out to make them part of the record.
What's the pleasure?
Motion to move forward and adopt into record, please.
Motion to move forward and adopt into record.
Does staff gone over and have any recommendation on what they sent us?
The staff has reviewed. At this time, I do not have any recommendations.
Are they financially sound?
As sound as they can be for the time being.
The auditor found no issues.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm reading here, they had a decrease of 254,000 from June of 18. Had a decrease of 146,000 in sewer. So, I guess thought staff was supposed to go over these and advise us the financial stability of these VSDs.
I reviewed them, I can go through them more detailed, and we can table it, and I will come back with better recommendations.
Thank you.
You want to change your motion to table this so it can be further looked into?
No.
Okay. Motion's been made to adopt into record. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Number 16, review, discuss, consider matters arising from the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, resignation, discharge, dismissal, or compensation of the County Director of Maintenance, Building and Grounds in Central Garage. Potential executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 69A 4B2A.
Vote we go into recess, make a motion to go into recess till 10:30.
Motion to go in,
10:30,
excuse me,
take care of the 10:30 funding request at that time. I don't think we have time to do
motion to go into recess till 10:30. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
this.
Opposed? In recess.
Is the 10:30 here, Susan? Can we just?
I think they just walked in, but I'm not sure. Motion to go back into regular session. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, back into session. We have at 10:30 funding request from Highland Hospital, Inc. You want to come forward, or you can stand right there, however you want to do it.
Thank you very much.
Just tell us who you are.
My name is Vicki Jones. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Highland Clarksburg Hospital. I also have with us today Whitney Patterson, and she's the Chief Financial Officer for Highland Clarksburg Hospital. I'm here today to request your support and your assistance in helping us to fulfill our mission. Let me tell you just a little bit about Highland Clarksburg Hospital for those who may not be aware. We are a freestanding psychiatric hospital. We are licensed for 115 beds, and we serve children ages 5 to 12, adolescents ages 12 to 17, and adults ages 18 and over. The population that we serve for adults are those individuals who are involuntarily committed, and they are considered a danger to self or others. We have both civil commitments and we have forensic commitments. Forensic commitments are those individuals who are found not guilty by reason of mental illness or incompetent to stand trial and are involuntarily committed to our hospital for what would have been the sentence that they would receive in the correctional system. So if there is someone who committed murder that might have received life in prison, instead, due to their mental illness, they are involuntarily committed to our hospital. The children and adolescents that we serve are also behavioral. We provide behavioral health services too. Behavioral health services might include mental illness. It might include substance use disorder. It might include a dual diagnosis and a variety of behavioral health services. Why I'm here today is to request assistance to help us discharge individuals, if possible, into a less restrictive environment. Primarily, our children may come in and they may be under the jurisdiction of the child welfare system, for example. We work closely with the education system, adults, family members, but they may come in and they may not have clothing, for example. And so we provide clothing to these individuals upon discharge. We do so for our adults as well. We also are required from a regulatory perspective to take individuals, if they are preparing for discharge, to hours. And that may be for some community integration, to integrate them into the community or into a residential environment. And in doing so, this is something that costs us thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. Due to our total reliance from a referral perspective on the state of West Virginia, we have clothing drives, we're trying to recruit individuals right now to increase our staffing, which is a challenge for us, and we're receiving requests to serve more and more individuals. And so this puts a financial hardship on the hospital in order to meet its regulatory requirements and in order to serve the number of individuals and to employ additional staff within the community. And so we're here today to request your support and assistance and to ask if you have any follow-up questions that you would like to have for us.
What are your locations?
We are located at 3 Hospital Plaza. It is, for anyone that might be familiar, it's the old United Hospital that was donated to us to serve psychiatric behavioral health service.
Do you have any other locations?
We do not.
You serve the whole state?
We serve the entire state. And we serve individuals that are out.
Where does your funding primarily come from?
DHHR funds us to provide services to all of our adults, which is for the involuntary commitment. We are able to bill from a financial perspective a very small amount to Medicare. Of course, DHHR is the payer of last resort, but we are able to bill a small portion to Medicare and Medicaid, our federal agencies. From the children's perspective, we bill primarily from Medicaid, and that's from that the children's perspective up to the age of 17. There's a federal regulation that prohibits us from billing Medicaid, standard traditional Medicaid, for anyone ages 21 to 64. And that is why we are relying upon the state of West Virginia, DHHR.
So you all apply to the state for the ARP money?
We have applied for CARES funding, we've applied for various grants. Because we're an IMD, an Institute for Mental Disease, which is an inpatient hospital, freestanding psychiatric hospital, it's more challenging to receive funding, as those are typically reserved, even the grants are typically reserved for the community-based support that exists, which actually helps us as well, because it helps us to discharge individuals into environments that are more suitable for their care on a long-term basis.
Ms. Jones, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Pat.
No, I'll make a motion that we do allocate $2,000 to you and support you the best we can.
Well, I mean, you all fall under behavioral health care, correct?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
You all fall under behavioral
We
health
do.
care?
We do.
Okay, well, ARP says that you qualify for request funding under that. And so that's why I was asking if the state has money under that, City of Clarksburg has money under that, we have money.
Thank you very much for
So
that information.
I would suggest that you all follow up with that to get funding, and make those requests from all those people that have been granted that money.
Yeah. Good idea. I'll call the question.
Motion's been made to allocate $2,000 to Highland. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Ms. Jones.
Do you want to go ahead with 16, or do you want to do Parks and Rec?
We'll do 16.
Okay. I'm not reading it again, number 16. What's the pleasure?
Anybody have any paperwork to go to the 16th? Commissioners to look at?
We do, figured it would be passed out in an executive session.
I don't, if I get it, I don't know whether I'm voting for executive.
I sent you an email on Monday outlining what we fall down in
As
executive
a Monday, I don't know what's changed. Are the other people available?
Go into executive session with us, make them available.
I just need to know if these county employees are available.
Yes.
I'll ask again, what's the pleasure on number 16?
Move to strike from the agenda.
Been moved to strike from the agenda. Any discussion on that? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Administrators report?
I have none for today.
I have a question to the administrator. I understand you did a phone call on redistricting. Could you bring us up to date on what that was about?
We had a phone call to, I don't exactly know the specifics of how redistricting will affect us. John might have a better understanding of it, but there's going to be redistricting that is required to be done.
Well, part of the commission plan that.
Of course, we would assist them in any way possible.
That was the crux of the funding.
Pretty much, a lot of it will depend on legislation later this month to find out exactly what it's going to entail.
Okay, I'll wait for Commissioner Ryan.
Well, guess commissioner comments are here.
Parks and Rec.
Well, we have a couple minutes. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? If the rest of the items are just hearings, do you all need me to stay?
No.
Yes.
you guys wanna go ahead and give us your update, you can go ahead and do that. Is there nobody else coming? Just the two of you? Okay.
We, update, Doug's gonna pass out some papers to you. First one, just an update on the end of the summer programs. It stands for itself to show you the numbers that we had at each of our sites. We ended up doing about 190 kids per day. We had over 500 registered for the summer playground park. The Energy Express, we were near 190 some. It would have been more, but again, we could not find enough workers to take those positions that we had the grant for. But if there's any questions on summer playgrounds, you can see how they ran. We'll make our determinations with our board next year, what sites to do, with definitely a possibility of summer park being the replacement site on things as it gets fixed. And of course, we fed breakfast and lunch to those kids every day along the way too. We did 2 extra weeks at our complex, mainly to experiment to see who would drive there and drop their kids off to see how that would work. We ended up with about 56 a day coming to it. And also there was, for those that need meals, I mean, 2 more weeks to get meals, so they might come out there. Some just came out to eat. We have a little notepad on the park projects, and there's a spreadsheet that shows where we're at with each of the park projects. Details, Goodhope Park is now on the front burner of things. We spoke with Danny Hamrick, and also it's on the job line to take the bleachers out. We prepare the site, and we'll put together new bleachers there, new backstops in and ready to be put up. They got the site ready for the basketball court to be poured, and we have the poles and stuff to get. So it's ready to happen as soon as they have time and we're working to their schedules. We'll put together the bleachers and stuff and have them done. Jason Fernandez from Sutton Construction is doing the concrete work, and his schedules, I think he's ready to go with it.
Yeah, we're gonna meet one day, the next couple of days to get on the schedule with his crews. He's down in West Milford completing the job now, so we should probably be ready for, probably the middle of next week, barring weather.
We'll also, we have, in Little League's desires, we had proposed like a plywood type outfield fence, and the Little League didn't really want that. They would rather have a 4-foot chain link fence. So, and I can understand that these, actually chain link does give more, and also that people can sit in outfield and watch the ball game. As part of their concerns. We did get a quote on the outfield fencing is in there now, and it's $12,000 if we want to move in that direction for it. And it's still, you can see it still brings us under our budget dollars for what was proposed for that park. Then we'll go into other things as we can with it. We have everything you see, the process means the stuff is in, and like the swing sets and all have been ordered and they're not in yet, but they should be any time. At our complex, most things are done. We got some little jobs to do, of course, there. The concrete pads, he's ready to do that for the disc golf. Hopefully next week he'll be able to get started on that. He's pouring them at his facility, then moving them in, getting the land work ready, and bringing them up the hill. Things will work, so we're waiting to do it. Gaga Pit was absolute huge hit this summer at both there and Spelter. The amount of time they're on, we have groups, scouts are having their meetings out there now, so they get to the Gaga Pits. Same as the 4-H people and the church groups at Spelter. So that was a really good investment in that. Doing a lot of work on our little nature trail. The sand volleyball court's is in, it's nice. The only other thing is waiting for the concrete pads and the little jobs of stadium and little things on the trail. Summit Park. One of the biggest questions with it, we've got some things complete. You go down through the list that we worked on. The swings are on order for the ADA and the belt swings. That's no problem getting those in. The next thing is the upper ball field. Question is whether we could explore and want to go into the process of actually redoing that ball field. The fence isn't in good shape at all. We can repair it. It can be tied up. We have tied it up to make it safe now. But we had a quote there for to put a backstop and then like a wheels fence the way it was $28,000 if we wanted to go that route. The other route would be to order one of the backstops That's 2,800. We do it, we did do a fencing project where they wouldn't have the big backstop. Little League doesn't need as big a backstop as we put down at the softball field. So that's the debate on that end of things. Any input from you all, what you'd like to see, and of course, we'll be meeting with our commission, our board in September here next September, I think. They have sealed the basketball court there, and he's due to stripe it. It seems the weather allows him to get up and stripe it. He's also going to do that down at Spelter, the ceiling and the Spelter. We have things ordered, the swings and stuff, and the playground borders to change that all wood border out, and that stuff we could do. Well, that's a problem. It's not a hard job. Wallace backstop is in to be constructed as soon as we get the other stuff done. The hoops resurfacing, we finally got a quote from Gary Amos. He was recommended by Mario Spidonia that's doing other ceiling work. And he did give us an estimate of almost $13,000 to redo that court at Wallace. And we'll have it painted and stuff too. We'll try to get other quotes on the blacktop. It's hard to, we just haven't been able to get anybody to answer us yet for anything else.
Hey, Mike, you know, I agree with the other commissioners that with Summit Park, either do it right or close it. Give us a minute to let Laura do some homework, see what's happening with the new levy this year. And if we can do this Summit Park, I am one that is for it. I actually admit, I see it more of an asset than I ever did before. I was wrong. So, Laura, if you can dive into that and get back to us, let us know, then I'll do whatever, I'll follow her lead as far as money.
I agree. I think it could be an asset. I think we'll have more teams move in. I want to do a summer playground program there.
Yeah.
Here's with the
Same
replacement
business.
one. I just think it's something that we could
Can you let her,
work.
can you let her do
Sure.
some math and homework, and that way I don't put the cart before the horse?
Right.
I don't want
That's
to
why,
spend money
that's
we
why we
don't
left it
have.
as a question mark.
Yeah, I think it's, I agree with that with them, that do it right or don't, shut it down.
And questions is about where we're at now.
Generally, that, I think another summer for Mike Book with no fatalities, so that's great. God bless you.
Sometimes that's what we root for, is
Yeah,
what we do
I
with the
know.
kids and things, but we made it through. It's interesting. Every year gets a little different dealing with the kids and parents.
Yeah,
But gotta be able to go with that flow.
yeah.
How many times was the board met this year, Mike?
This year they met, well, they didn't meet in August, they met in June. We did not get a quorum for July, and they're ready to meet, September meeting's ready to go. We had a couple meetings before that. I can't remember now. March and April,
We did February,
March and April.
When will you all have your budget prepared for us?
Have the budget prepared?
Your board's charged with presenting us a budget and the request for levy. So I'm curious when you'll have it done.
We get them together in
We'll discuss it during the September
meeting and get it done.
That we get numbers for you.
We'll get the numbers done with that.
Mike, how long have you been out there?
At the Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
a few years now, just over 40.
On 71, this commission made you guys a standalone entity. And for some reason, no commission has ever recognized that.
Right.
Legal has looked over what documentation is. If Mr. Zimmerman would like to speak on your autonomy away from the commission or not, I would appreciate it.
Sure, you all tasked me with that assignment to look at the relationship between the two entities, and by code, Parks and Rec is supposed to operate as an autonomous entity, similar to, for example, the Central West Virginia Transit Authority. You have your own board, you set your own budget, you make your own decisions for HR. All those things by code are supposed to happen. Historically, that has certainly not always been the case. The picture's been somewhat muddy. What my recommendation was is we need to look at things like title to the assets, operations, funding, and we need to clearly delineate moving forward who is going to manage what in terms of Parks and Rec. What does that actually include? Does it include Summit Park? Does it include the parks in the southern part of the county? Does it include the rail trail? There's been some discussion of that. But The Parks and Rec Board has the ability to dictate rules and regulations for the parks which it manages. Those have not been updated for years. So my recommendation was we can't just rip the rug out and immediately separate the entities. We need to get together. You all need to come up with an updated list of rules and regs, which also delineate what assets you have managed historically and what you can manage within your budget and your framework, and then we all need to have a powwow and discuss it and get it right moving forward. Any questions for me?
Yeah, until we get this straightened out, should their funds be frozen except for payroll? Considering we don't know which party has the right to spend it.
Well, I believe that the Parks and Rec has the right to spend it within the statutory framework. I don't know how the accounts are set up in terms of operational accounts, contingent accounts, capital accounts. I mean, I don't think we can just,
Well, we don't have the right to spend it.
no, they're to operate as an independent body, which is where your question goes about the meetings. They need to be meeting regularly and getting a quorum and making progress forward. And they need to make those decisions. Certainly they need to report to us. I mean, that they're levy funded, like you talked about, and we control the rules and regs, which is how I think we set it straight moving forward.
Because at this point, we have no MROs for any of the parks with them that are on the county's name. They don't own anything.
I don't know how it's structured. I don't know how title's held to the various assets. Before my time, that would have to be looked at, but that's certainly a valid question. I don't know how it's insured. I don't know if they're a rider on our policy. Is it under our policy because we hold title to it? Those are the kind of operational issues that need to be looked at within the statutory framework. It's a big project.
So it sounds like there needs to be some work sessions between us and Parks and Rec.
I think that would be helpful to get it right within the code.
Yeah, that's what it should
I'm
be.
just, other parks and recs around the state don't operate the way we do.
No, it's been brought up different times from different commissions and never happened.
Well, but legally, we couldn't do it. When we do the levy goes to you. The check's supposed to be written to you,
Right. That's the way I've always interpreted it.
but we haven't.
Yep. I think our board will be more invested doing it that way.
Well, I just want, if you don't get a quorum for this board, then I think this commission needs to look at appointing new members.
We'll get this meeting set and let them know how it is. Supposed to be the, second Tuesday, but it's, yeah, this is September second Tuesday.
Trey, could you sit in on that meeting and explain to them where they stand, because I don't think they understand.
I'm happy to go through the statute with all of you collectively and delineate like we have how it's supposed to operate.
Well, I'm fine with attending that. What's the date?
14th, 8 a.m. is the schedule.
Anyone have any other questions?
I just appreciate you making progress on the parks.
Yep, we're looking at it. It's gonna be nice.
Okay, 10:55, Sun Valley PSD update, Kevin Short.
Are you all?
Okay, here you go.
I don't really know why I'm here. I was requested to be here, by Laura, give an update, on Sun Valley and whatever else updates you guys. We are moving forward with, 2 OEM agreements along with, Marquette Ball PSD, which is September 8th will be 2 years. We also entered in a O&M agreement with Lake Floyd PSD. They're in need of assistance, taking care of their treatment plant. So we have started the process of that. O&M agreement is an operation and maintenance agreement. They pay for our services. That is before the Public Service Commission. But at this time, we are proceeding with that to get both systems in compliance and get both systems healthy where they need to be. Then we will proceed with the merger process that we discussed several years ago. The COVID-19 has really put a hindrance on all three operations. Sun Valley's operation, Falls operation, and Lake Floyd PSD's operations. With the public meetings and trying to protect revenues out and bond holdings and finances that need to be merged. So all three boards are understanding they're still moving forward. We are getting all three systems healthy, which is probably going to require some rate increases because of the revenue loss to all three systems. So we're proceeding with that. Not big rate increases, but operational rate increases that lives that went increased across the board from fire hydrants to water meters. We all know. So if there's any questions you guys so wish that I could answer, I will answer. We are finishing up a water project, $3 million water project with Rush Engineering. That is replace our 2 old tanks with 1 new tank. It's a 500,000 gallon tank. Went out into the Marshville area, Indian Run area, Raccoon Run area, and also finished up Sycamore Road to US 19, and we have an interconnection between us and Greater Harrison. So if we have a leak, we can pull water from them, or if they have a leak, they can pull water from us in an emergency situation. And also that project includes picking up 80 new customers. We are working on several projects, trying to figure out funding scenarios, sewer, and also additional water projects, a 5-year and 10-year.
So you've been taking care of the issues with 2 other PSDs for almost 2 years now. And how much money are you all being reimbursed by those PSDs?
As of right now, they're still on our books, that owe us $5,000. That's combined water and sewer. We are still running separate, everything's all still separate.
How much has the county helped you out? We haven't helped you out at all. We asked you to do this, correct?
Correct.
These 2 PSDs, did they add to your total so that you can get to that magic 4,000?
They will get us close, but will not get us to the.
So you can claim as the customers even though they still operate as themselves? Can you claim them as the customers even though they still operate as their own entity, you just have a working? I don't think you can count them.
No, we do not. Going through our operations, I oversee the Hepzibah PSD operations, water and sewer, Sun Valley PSD water and sewer, and now aiding, and we just started this in June with Lake Floyd PSD, overseeing their operations and money flow and that type of thing. Still meeting with 3 separate boards. I have a board meeting with Hepzibah once a month. I have a board meeting with Sun Valley once a month. And then the last 2 months, I have met with Lake Floyd to try to get some of their issues resolved with their plant and DEP. So
We asked you to look over Hepzibah and what was the other one?
short line.
short line.
And I did
What's
assist,
it gonna take to bring them up to date?
I did assist short line, they requested us, they needed a operator immediately because they was under administrative order from the state of West Virginia. I provided, 7 months of working with them, and got one of their employees certified, to become a certified loaner operator. So that took them off the, state, violation list with Bureau of Public Health. Then we was in the process of merging with them with an ODM agreement and bringing their system in compliance and their board reviews. You guys have a letter and received a couple years ago that their board wished not to proceed and become part of the merger process with the Large Central PSC.
And as I understand it, Epsiball has a sewage issue.
They did have.
Their plant is all the way repaired or band-aided.
It's Band-Aid.
So how many millions would it take to fix it?
We are working on them numbers as we speak. As of right now, the plant is running in compliance, but we're having to sink a good bit of money, operation and maintenance, pumps. The engineer is working on that. We are looking to go hopefully to the state for some of that money, to either DEP or Infrastructure Council for the plants. The other thing that we're working toward is trying to pick up customer base. What I've seen just in basically all 3 systems that I'm dealing with, our customer base has declined to the point to where it is hard to meet the requirements of the state auditor's office, the Public Service Commission, and also, the new rules come out that you have to have a certain percentage of reserve for a Senate bill that passed the legislature a couple years ago, and also the bond requirements, if you have bonds for your loans, then reserves are mainly 2.5% of your gross revenues. But when you're losing, I know these numbers because it's on my water side, we lost 30 customers, residential customers, last fiscal year. And we just did a $3 million project to pick up 80. So, some of our loans are 40 years. Most of the loans were obtained, the very first loans were obtained in 1993. So, from 1993, we have declined many customers, and hopefully this hard money will help offset some of these facilities that have already depreciated out. And again, you mentioned the large Epsiball PSD's plants, they are depreciated out. So now we're at a point, these plants, 40, 50 years old, they need some upgrades.
Couple $1 million, $3 million?
I would say more than that. I would say, and I don't want to speculate, that's something I can come back, with engineering numbers and what we're looking to replace. I would say several million. Do the plants need completely redone? No, they done a project that kind of took care of the concrete work. So the main structure of the plant is in good condition, but the pumps, the piping, I'm just gonna throw out a term called rotors. These is what mix up the beds. Them are, over 40 years old, and they just need replaced.
I got
And
about
the second
1,000
thing-
customers, I think. So they have about 1,000 customers
Yes.
serving with that sewer plant. And Lake Floyd serves about 150.
150.
They both will cost the same amount of money to fix or to get rid of.
You're not gonna be able to get rid of a large empty ball, PSD's plants.
Okay.
Just the way where they're located, you're not gonna be able to get rid of them, so them's gonna have to stay there. But other areas that we're looking to expand and grow, they can either come to Clarksburg or Clarksburg Sanitary Board or, the Bridgeport wastewater treatment plant. The Lake Floyd area, that plant can be decommissioned. Clarksburg, can't accept the flow, so that can't be pumped through our system right on to Clarksburg, and we can eliminate a wastewater treatment plant over the next couple of years. And that is the goal. They're having compliance issues. Their biggest problem is the dam and a discharge into a stream that goes dry, normally during the summer months, and they can't get below the limits because of they're discharging into a stream that can't dilute the effluent going out.
So, are you all looking for ARP money then?
Yes. Both federal, state, and hopefully pretty well. We are still trying to find out the requirements of that money. We've heard that it's been, and I can let the engineer elaborate on that more, because they're more up to date than I am, day to day. But we know it's for water, sewer, and broadband, that's what's all been told. But we have not been told, how do you qualify for that money? Does it have to be, like the Lake Floyd situation, we're eliminating the plant? Or do we have to pick up new customers? You know, we're trying to find out the rules, regulations of what qualifies and don't qualify.
Mr. Spellman been in contact with you?
No, I have not. I have talked to Mr. Spellman, and we run some questions by him, and he's supposed to get back to us.
Have you talked with anybody else about these funds other than Mr. Spellman? And at the courthouse?
We were requested to be here at a meeting, to discuss the various items that I elaborated earlier. What qualifies, what doesn't qualify, and who's the funds go to.
Was that with the commissioner? Or somebody from the auditor's office?
Yes. And several other, people. It was a Q&A, in my mind, a Q&A, just to ask the questions is, and there's a lot of unanswered questions that we have not been made aware of, either the state or the federal level. And I'm not sure if you guys are more privy than we are, you know, does these projects have to be adhered to by Davis and Bacon? Who's going to do the administration? Who's responsible for the administration? All this needs to be answered before we can even prepare cost estimates. So when somebody asks, you know, how much is this going to cost? You know, if you got to do the Davis and Bacon Act, that's going to increase your administration. Also, how the funding is going to come, the requirements for an engineering firm. They have to do a complete engineering agreement plus give a preliminary engineering study before the money can be approved. So there could be a lot of upfront costs that's associated with just a dollar amount to a project.
Kevin, I only got a couple more questions and we'll put this to bed, but, Lake Floyd, if you take over their sewage, have they said they're gonna disband the PSD?
Yes.
They have said that, but.
The plan is, they have, their bond is up in another 3 years. they're at a position where they need to either redo that plant or do away with it. They're all in a position that let's go ahead and do away with the plant. They're already our water customers now, so we bill in water. They pay for PSD a flat rate for their sewer fees, rent area and everything, so.
I'm excited to hear what that cost is, so I'm really curious about 151 customers to cost. We have Hepzibah that's got 952 customers. That's a big swing in the amount of people. I'll just say as a commissioner, we played for 2 years trying to close these. We've been polite about it. I think if any money comes out towards these PSDs, we don't force consolidation so that our PSDs can operate properly. If we give them this money, we're not being good stewards of the money that we were given and good stewards for the whole growth of the county. So I hope that coming forward you'll have some answers. I think Hepzibah and Short Line, I think it's time that we brought them under control. And if they want any of this help from us, that we need to bring them under Sun Valley and quit playing the game, get Sun Valley up to their magic numbers so that we can work with them. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Greater Harrison,
I've tried to get a hold of Bill Hooper several times, and I guess he is not able to make it.
and Paul Hamrick and George Jackson.
No, I received an email from them. Unfortunately, they have to reschedule. There was another meeting that came up today.
I would like to speak to Paul Hammer. Okay. I guess Mr. Hammer came in to this courthouse to talk to somebody about helping with his PSD and asked for a short-term loan from this group. And he was told that we couldn't afford to give him any money. A short-term loan. I think we have, how many millions in our accounts?
Like in the one count that we were talking about, for the money, I wanna say there's $779,000 in that account. In the community improvement fund,
How much?
$779,000.
And we don't have any money anywhere else.
No, there's other accounts, I just pulled those numbers for you.
Those are small ones. We have, some that have 4 or 5 million now. Correct? So did we actually give him the opportunity to sit down and discuss terms, or did we just walk him out and told him we couldn't help? I don't know what commissioner did that, but I would appreciate it if all three of us would have had a chance to hear from him and had the chance to see if we couldn't help out the PSD that's trying to do something to clean up sewage in our county, and instead of forcing them to go out and try to get financing to a local bank. We probably could have helped them out, and we didn't even see if we could help them out a little bit. We just walked them out the door and told them we couldn't afford it. Shame on us.
Now, Commissioner Hinkle, I do have him rescheduled for the.
I know we haven't rescheduled, but he wouldn't be rescheduled if I hadn't bothered to catch it in the paper that we told him no, he didn't never walk back through this door. Nobody in this commission was giving that man the opportunity to present this. That's all I have to say.
Okay, number 18. Commissioners' comments. Mr. Treecost? I have none. Michael?
Pass, thank you.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.